Hi there, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Grada's channel. My name is Robertson and I'm a master healer, a coach, and also the owner of the Purple House Cafe. This is an invitation for you to come to my Launch and Transform this coming Saturday, where I will do a repeat of how to connect with your own intuition. So intuition is short for inner tutor or your inner wisdom. And why would I want to share that with you, or why would you be interested in it? Well, if your soul, spirit, mind and body are all in alignment and you are a free-flowing channel of energy, right? Your life will become more meaningful, you will have less pain, recover easily, and you will be able to prosper and feel good. So what happens, why most of us are disconnected from our intuition, so we're leading a life of struggle and hardship, and we have to learn through difficult situations, we have to learn our lessons that way, because believe it or not, we came into this world with some kind of soul purpose, right? Our purpose came here, chose to be in the body to learn certain lessons, valuable lessons for our soul and spirit. But what happened was at conception time, when we are still, just before conception, we are still a complete unit. We are existing in this space of peace and harmony. There is no care there and everything makes sense. And in an ocean of wisdom, you could say, or infinite potential. And then at the moment of conception, we already split into spirit, soul, body and mind. And as we then we are born, and maybe in utero we absorb stresses from our mother and our father, from the environment, and that disconnect becomes more profound. Then usually at birth there is trauma, like birth is often very traumatic for us and for the mom, and that disconnect deepens, and this is how we lose the voice of our intuition. And over time we begin to run on anti-life programs, that's what I call them. So if you have like struggle anywhere in your life, just pause for a minute and think of areas of your life where you know it should be flowing a lot easier, because you're showing up, you're doing the hard yards, and perhaps money is still not coming in, or you're still struggling in your relationships, or maybe even your body, your health. That means your energy is stuck somewhere, right? And with the help of your intuition, we can restore the energy flow in your body. Your intuition will interpret what's wrong, what's going wrong for you, and give you the pathway how to get out of that situation and for your energy to flow again. And this is where the role of a healer comes in, or a coach. So a coach will often work with your mind, like it will do mindset and help you to see where your blind spots are and where you have limiting beliefs. And a healer works a slightly different way. So I work with energy, and I can clairvoyantly or clairsentiently see where your energy is blocked. So even people who are non-verbal, or babies, or people who are older, people who are very, very sick, I can see, and they can't talk to me. People who are in a position where they literally can't tell me anything, I can still see where the energies are blocked, and I can clear that and transmute that stuck energy into the energy of light or love or health, whatever your body needs at the time. And I can do it very easily and quickly, because I've been doing this for such a long time now, really decades. Also, I've had to heal my own body. Of course, you know the story, that I was hit by a truck, and that's nearly 20 years ago. And I had to basically completely regrow my body. I had like nearly 40 broken bones. All my internal abdomen was like torn apart. And I mean, you're looking at a miracle that I'm still sitting here, but of course you are just as much of a miracle as I am. So here is the other thing. Not only do we become disconnected from our intuition, right, which your intuition is like your inner GPS, and it shows you the shortest way between where you are in your results or success or happiness that you want. We also have programs up and running that are called anti-intuition. So they will feel like intuition, look like intuition, sound like intuition, but actually it's not, right? It's like an imposter intuition program that you need to be very, very aware of. Because if you follow that voice, you are going to suffer and it is going to cost you, right? So it's not that easy. Like if it was easy, you could just pick up the phone and, you know, metaphorically speaking, and say, intuition, are you there? Because I have a problem and I want to know what your answer is. What can you advise me, right? It's not as easy as that, because we've got all these overlays and it's surrounded by confusion. So over the years, I've had to learn to cut through all of that, because my life depended on it first, and then when I got my body back, then of course I've got businesses and I've got lots of children and grandchildren plus my clients. So I know one thing for sure that was a real blessing for me, was that every single time I'm in my healing room with my client, and I spend a lot of time there, of course, my intuition is spot on, like it's crystal clear, there's no doubt or anything. So I was lucky that I got to practice and clear the telephone line, so to speak. I can just pick up the phone and ask the universe what's going on for this client, and the universe will tell me, and it's always spot on. So that helped me, the fact that I was able to do that, or had that gift or talent with my clients, that helped me over the years bring that back in my personal life, so I could apply that in my own relationships, and of course in my relationship with myself, because this is where we often trip up the most, right? We can't see our own blind spots. So I've learned so much, and I want to share some of that with you, because I know you will be transformed tremendously just by even picking up one or two things, or hearing other people, sharing with other people. And so just know that you're invited. If you are interested, you need to book, because spaces are extremely limited, and it goes from 12 to 2. You're going to have lunch with me, so you'll be eating and listening, sharing, and then I'll do a quick transformation with each participant. So that transformation might take 3 to 5 minutes in the room with me, so we can go as deep as you like or as shallow as you like, but you will feel transformed, and you will find it easier to recognize that, hey, this is my intuition and it feels all tingly and it feels good, or I've never felt this clear before. And then your body gets a chance as well to heal itself from the current situations. It's going to help you make decisions easier, connect to yourself more, and of course make your life a lot easier. So people ask me sometimes, well, where does your intuition come from? And I quickly want to explain this as well. Your intuition comes from the field that's all around us. So you yourself are also a field of information, right? And so our field is constantly interacting with the field that's called the universe, that contains answers of everything. It contains all the information, all the history, all your history. And so it has the answers and the solutions for you. So intuition comes from that field, right? We also have what we call our survival instinct. So the survival instincts are often more to do with the body, with your direct survival, and that's still very, very important that that's switched on as well, because humans have literally disconnected from their survival instincts as well. Otherwise we wouldn't walk into the supermarket and buy all the processed food and give our children toxic food in toxic situations. We constantly put ourselves literally in toxic situations as well. It's because we've become disconnected. So our intuition is already there. It's inside of you. You don't need to program it. It's literally just covered up or disconnected. Thank goodness it's there, so you can tap into it easily. And you might perhaps already know times in your life that it just jumped out at you and you couldn't ignore it, right? I had that situation. I've shared the story of my son Tom, who nearly died, but my intuition saved him. And today I just want to quickly share you another funny story, which is not very funny, but still. So about 20 years ago, Pete and I had organized a spot on a camping at Port Sorell, and it was summertime, And back in those days, the caravan park or the camping places were always chock-a-block full. And we have 6 children, so we rock up at camping, and it was like all like very busy. And the owner had kept a spot for us under a big tree. And he said, look, this is beautiful and shady. You can put your tent here. And of course, the kids and Pete were all excited, and they were already mapping out where they were going to sleep and all the rest. And we were coming from the northeast at that point, so 2 hours drive with a car full of kids. So everyone was excited to set up camp. And I immediately felt like, no, that's a big fat no, don't go and camp there. So I had to get very pedantic. I think in the end, I even had to cry before Peter and the owner and the kids listened to me. So my tears were always a last resort. And I said, no, absolutely not. So give us a different spot. Anyway, I just had this sense of an ominous feeling from it. So we got a different spot on the outskirts of the camping place, and that night was a big storm that came through, so there was a change in the weather, and it ripped out a really big limb that fell down right on the place where we would have camped that night. A huge limb, right, that potentially could have killed all of us, or at least definitely harmed some of us, right? And so my intuition jumped at me so strong, 100% strong, that I was able to convince the whole family not to camp there. And of course, which made me unpopular for a whole day. So sometimes your intuition will make you unpopular, right? Because you're going against the stream. And that's another reason why people just turn it off. They think, well, I don't want to be different to everyone else, or I don't want to be unpopular. But in the end, it's always going to cost you. And when you make friends with your intuition, it becomes your friend. Like, we also have to be friends to our intuition. So here's the thing, it's always available to us. It wants to talk to us. Our intuition is an extension. It's the cord between us and the universe. It wants us to have a good life. The universe wants us to have a good life too. But if we're always rushing and disconnecting and not having enough stillness, and then we ignore it and we make ourselves unavailable to it, it's not going to work. So I've also learned the hard way, like there were many times that I ignored my intuition and paid for it dearly, probably including the truck accident. I never saw that coming. I didn't even have a premonition. So obviously something wasn't working for me at that time, right? But I'm sitting here because after the truck hit me, I did listen to my intuition, and it helped me to recover. So that's just a short story, just some feedback on my history, because today you can learn from people like me who can inspire you to pay attention to your intuition and to invest in yourself, so you don't have to suffer, right? There are 2 ways of learning. We can either learn all our soul lessons through suffering, or we can learn from intuition and from being inspired by other people, right? And of course that way is much easier, faster, and more progressive. So I hope you found this interesting. I'll attach a little article if you can't come on Saturday. There's 4 steps in this article how to switch on your intuition. And do come and see me as well. I'm always available for new clients. And I work Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. I also do remote sessions. They work just as well over the phone. So if you're stuck somewhere, please reach out to me and let me help you make your life easier and get your results faster. Thanks for tuning in as usual. Big love from me, and hopefully I get to see some of you on Saturday soon. Bye for now.